November in 2008, we got our first grant from the city. I will never forget that amount, $3,000. Yes, it was small amount, but
it was huge
it
at
motivated
the time.
me.
Yeah.
For 2009 financial year report, our total budget was $7,900.
The whole year?
The whole year.
And you had staff?
Yes.
Wow.
So that's the humble beginning.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 2025.
Hey.
Now we're talking about annual income of 600,000, 500 and something thousand, 650,000.
Okay.
We have up to 10 staff. We have 4 full-timers and 6 part-timers.
Yes.
We have international students from University of Alberta.
The Dim Din Podcast, a safe space to talk about misconceptions, perceptions, assumptions, and frustrations. Join us for conversations and stories that explore how embracing our differences leads to a balanced, strong, and harmonious world.
Black History Month is a time to discuss the history that's been left behind for us by the people that came before us. And so far, we've been doing an amazing job at that. At the same time, there are people that are walking that path to leave history behind for the people ahead of us in the future. I'm here today to have a conversation or another conversation with one of those people. Before I introduce our guest today, I am Becca, aka the Serenadian, your Dim Dim podcast host. Our guest today is a gentleman that traveled from the small town of Sinkunia in Sierra Leone, West Africa, to Canada. And here in Canada is making phenomenal changes or progress as he has created, he's the founder and CEO of Sinkunia Community Development Organization, an organization that serves not only new immigrant youth and children, but also is now serving the adult population. There's a lot to be said about him. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a community member. I call him my papa, but I'll pass it on to him to tell us a little bit more about himself. He's no other person than Mr. Issa Kamara. Welcome on board to the Dim Dim podcast, Papa.
Thank you very much, Madam Patricia, Mama Patricia, that's how I call her. Like she said, she calls me Papa, and that makes me feel very good. My name is Issa Kamara, originally from Sinkunia community in Sierra Leone, West Africa. I moved to Canada in 2000, March 28, precisely 2000. From Guinea-Conakry, I came straight to Conakry. And from Conakry to Winnipeg, Manitoba. I spent 6 years in Manitoba. I did my master's at the University of Manitoba. I'm a social worker. And then in 2006, relocated to Edmonton, Alberta. And I've been in Alberta for about 18 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I came in 2006, I worked briefly with the Bosco Foundation. Yeah, they used to have group homes in different parts of the city. So I was with the foundation at the ranch. They had a branch after Sherwood Park. Yes, I worked in that ranch for 2 years. So while I was working there, I was thinking about setting up a foundation to help African immigrants, children and youth. Why? because when I was in Winnipeg, I saw most of our youth joining gangs, doing some antisocial activities like stealing, robbing banks. I was very disheartened, and most of them were imprisoned. Yeah, the Manitoba Youth Detention Center for those criminal activities. And it became so tense that most of them were deported. Not only Sierra Leonean kids, but most African kids. I think 3 of so youth were deported to Sierra Leone. Yeah, so I was really not comfortable with that situation. So I wanted to change that situation. But again, like I said, I decided to move to Edmonton. So when I came with that in my mind, and then also coming from a very small village, like I said, Sinkunia, where I was born and raised. So attending primary school, the community supported my education. And then I went to secondary school. The same thing, I got a lot of support from the community. I went to university in Sierra Leone, got a lot of support from the community. So I always wanted to give back to my community, to my people.
So you are the typical example of being raised by a village.
I'm the village guy, yes, everybody. The grandmas, the old grannies, the old pas, they all supported my education.
Wonderful.
So that's why I enjoy working with these old people here. I like spending time with them.
Yeah. And
Yes.
here you are making them proud.
Very. They are so happy being here. So that was also part of the motivation to give back to my community people in Sinkunia. So in 2007, I started making inquiries in Alberta how to go about setting up this foundation. I had a late brother, Bangali Mara. I'm sure you know that name. So he was the one, working me, like taking me to places. So we went to Alberta Corporate Registries where I did the inquiries, and they asked me to bring a lot of documentation for the registration process. So we put all those papers together, and then the name that came to mind was Sinkunia Community.
And now everybody talks about that. We all know about Sinkunia
Interestingly enough, so some people ask me, what is Sinkunia?
What does it mean?
I said I was born and raised in Sinkunia. That's my village.
That's so honoring though.
Yes, so that's
Well
what people
done.
have been saying. So, some people make fun of me sometimes. They say, we want to go and see this Sinkunia. Maybe it's all dust and...
No, but honestly though, I'm from Sierra Leone. I don't know where Sinkunia is. And I am also as anxious to go
to go to Sinkunia.
I need to see it because
I
I'm like...
know. No, one day somehow it will happen. One day somehow.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. So you've given us a little bit of like some of the things that happened that influenced the birth of Sinkunia. Before we talk about some of the challenges, can you give us like a snapshot of where Sinkunia is at now?
Well, presently Sinkunia is really a booming organization.
It's booming.
It's booming.
You need to be here and see this.
Yes. Compared to 2007, when I registered the organization, November 14, 2007. So November in 2008, we got our first grant from the city. I will never forget that amount, $3,000. Yes, it was small amount, but
it was huge at
it motivated
the time.
me.
Yeah.
I said, okay, this is the beginning of a long, long journey.
Amen.
And then in the same period, they gave us $4,900 for office supplies, equipment, laptop, just office setup. So for 2009 financial year report, our total budget was $7,900.
The whole year.
The whole year.
And you had staff.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's the humble beginning.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 2025.
Hey.
Now we're talking about annual income of 600,000, 500 and something thousand, 650,000.
Okay.
We have up to 10 staff. We have 4 full-timers and 6 part-timers.
Yes.
We have international students from University of Alberta, from Northwest College. Our staff team is so diverse. I'm from Sierra Leone. We have 2 Sierra Leoneans, 3 Ghanaians, Nigerian. So it's been like that for quite some time now. So.
And one Somalian, right? Is it?
Sierra Leone's, Nigerian, Ghana.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes we've had a Canadian who came for her placement. So after her placement, she got a part-time job at Morgan Bella. I'm sure you know her. Yeah, so she spent some time with us. So we've had like a diverse, different mixture of people, nationalities.
Beautiful.
We've had a Tanzanian work with us for some time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has been quite interesting. So from 2007 to today, the journey has been incredible. It has been very, very, we are very grateful to God, to all the wonderful people like you, for giving us the support we needed those days. So if you ask that question, it's amazing. I'm so delighted to say Syncunia is one of the smallest, one of those organizations in the community that is serving the African immigrant population. So it's not only Sierra Leone or Guinea or Nigeria, it's all of Africa. We have people coming from Southern Africa, East Africa, West Africa. Wonderful. So our client population has increased. It's diverse. Yes, and the programs have increased. We have many programs as compared to 2007 or 2010.
And the participants as well.
The number, oh my God,
grown.
the numbers have increased too. So the participants, the programs, everything about the organization has changed. We have, like, the technology has changed. As you can see, we have a lot of equipment. Before it was only a very small room with one computer, but now we even have a computer lab wherein people come and learn computer skills, do their resumes, So things have changed completely.
100%. And I would say some of that change, I know you are humble and may not speak too much to that, but I would say some of that change can also be attributed to the kind of leader that you are. Because I've worked with Syncunia quite a bit, and I can tell you that from the very first, I still remember the first day you saw me at a community event. Yeah. And you walked up to me and say, "You have a lot of potential. I would love to work with you." And I think you have that eye to see the potential in people even before they see it in themselves. And you make that effort to collaborate with people. You actually approach leadership from a humble and collaborative perspective, which I think has contributed greatly to the growth of Syncunia as well. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think leadership is all about humility, being very humble. If you are in the nonprofit business, you don't have a lot of money to give to people, all you have to give to people is your heart, your humility, your dedication. So you have to know how to kind of recruit and retain talent. And, in doing so, you have to know how to talk to people. You have to be very, very strategic in whatever you're doing. Strategic thinking is the most important thing for a leader in the nonprofit world. You always have to look outside the box. You always have to treat people with respect. You always have to make sure you look out for the potentials that will change things within the organization. I am technically challenged. I don't like talking. So I tried my best to identify somebody who is a mouthpiece for the organization, who is Agnes Yasewa Somoa, a Ghanaian.
Shout out to you.
So she is the mouthpiece. She has been selling the organization out in the community. And now we have a lot of people who are doing that, through social media, So when it comes to talking, I'm not that kind of person. And also, like I said, I'm technically challenged. But right now we are surrounded by people who are technically up there. They know what to do to sell the organization. So identifying potentials is one of the responsibility of any leader. You have to see them, like you said, see the person and see the leadership or qualities in that person and try to kind of bring those people on board. So once you have those set of people on board, you are sure to build a very great organization, and that is exactly what has happened. Yeah. So it's not by my own grace, it's by the special grace of God.
Amen and
who has been aligning me with people like you, like all these great people that we have right now. So things are happening that sometimes are way beyond my imagination. I stand back and look at what is happening right now in terms of progress, in terms of development, in terms of programming. I say, wow, we've come a long way.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned that piece about recruitment and retention. Because I think sometimes people are good at recruiting, but not necessarily
good at retaining.
Yeah.
So retention is very important. Like you don't just bring in people. You have to know the strategies how to retain people in your organization. And for me, that has been key. It's not just bringing people, but I want to make sure I keep these people. Like right now, we have talents in the organization that are making significant contribution to our progress. If you know Agnes very well, she has been with Syncuna going 14 to 15 years now. Femata, who came from Sierra Leone a couple of years ago, has been with us, I think, 5 years now. Brother Joseph Lurie, he's from South Sudan.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Somalia.
Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to mention him. He's one of the key players.
Yeah.
So like these people, like Brother Joseph joined us in 2019. He's still with us. So one thing I know for sure, which has been keeping some of these people, is giving them responsibility, treating them with respect. Like you don't take on all the responsibility. You don't assume that you know everything. Yeah. Once you treat people that way, you empower them. They will move mountains for you.
100%. And the mountains are definitely being moved.
Exactly.
Now, so I would make a general assumption that it's not all been a smooth sailing journey. Can you speak to some of the challenges you've had?
Yes. In the early days, like I said, our first grant for the whole 2008-2009 fiscal year was $7,900. Those days, with the city, they had those 5,000s, 3,000s, 10,000s. It was a bit difficult to access some of those grants. But with persistence, we were able to open the different doors. Sometimes you apply, For 10,000, they give you $3,000. You know, you apply for 10,000, 15,000, they give you $4,000. Yeah, but what changed those scenarios was that they saw persistence, and they saw commitment from us, and also the desire to move forward. We were determined, me and my small team, we were determined. Okay, we appreciated every $5,000, every $3,000. It was very challenging. How can you survive on $5,000?
Right.
You know, so I had different part-time jobs back then, but I wanted to focus on the Synconia organization. I wanted to build the foundation. So it came to a time when I gave up most of my part-time jobs.
Oh, wow.
That is when I started facing serious challenges.
I can only imagine.
Yes, so we would be so excited when they invite us to apply for like 50,000, 30,000 grants. So you apply, you're thinking that, oh, we'll get this, boom, nothing will comes. So those were the very devastating moments. Like, how am I going to survive? How is this whole thing going to play out? You only have, like, you're applying for big grants, but none is coming. Like, it was rejection after rejection, rejection after rejection. We will only rejoice when we get those $5,000, those $3,000. So back then, Agnes will do her kinky, the Ghanaian kinky. And we will take the kenke, take it to Kasua. Kasua will sell, and then, they will go into some shares. And with that, with the little Agnes was making from the kenke, she will cook her jollof. And then that's what we will use for the program, for the kids.
Yeah, because you provide free food all the time.
Yes.
That's one of the highlights of the program.
Yes, so we have been doing that since 2010 or so, since I met with Agnes. She will always cook.
Always.
So she will prepare her kenke, will sell. Sometimes she will write kids' books, sell, and then we buy food.
Oh, wow.
So that's the history between me and Agnes. We did everything to build this foundation. So it's not a one-man show. Agnes played a crucial role, a very critical role, to get the organization to this point. So that is why I said she is the mouthpiece of the organization. So there were times when I will almost go broke. Like when I say broke, I will not even have money to pay my rent.
Oh, no.
Yes, it got to that point. So sometimes I will look at myself, like, why do I have to go through this? Why can't I look for a full-time job somewhere and just work? But then there was something that was telling me, no, just keep going. Don't give up. So like I said, the rejections were just too much. Like it was just coming one after the other. But the situation changed when we built a very good relationship with a lady in the city back then, Mary Gallivan. She picked on Synconia. She just thought that these guys were up to something. If they have the necessary support, they will do something. And that's exactly what happened. So she became interested in our activities, in our programs, in the organization. So she supported our applications. So we started getting approvals. So we started getting those 20,000, 15,000 from the city. Yeah, and then we also came in contact with Rich Edmonton. That is when the destiny started changing.
The destiny.
That is when
our destiny.
Yeah, that's when things started changing for Synconia, and that's when we met.
So I came in at a good time.
And we also had casino at that. We were doing bingo. Yeah, you were part of the bingo activities, bingo fundraising. So we started getting $50,000. Our first $50,000 came from the CIP operating with the government of Alberta.
Wow.
That was
like, don't wake me up.
Big for us. Just imagine having survived on 10,000, 5,000, 3,000, and boom, you got 50,000. So that was said, okay, we're getting somewhere. And then there was another time when we got 37,000 from the province, and then we started making 100,000. So then the international components came in. We started getting 25,000 for project in Sinkunia. So we set up a community garden. So we have a huge oil palm plantation in the Sinkunia community.
Oh,
we have a ranch with many cows. So we had an elementary school in Ghana in Agnes's community.
Okay.
So we were paying the teachers from here. We are also feeding the kids. So we did that for 7 years.
Talk about making history.
Yeah.
Yes.
So things were just opening, like we were just moving. I don't know how things were happening, but that's exactly what happened. So that was a time when the Crown Agnes's father has a community farmer of their village. So we did a lot of stuff in her community and in Sinkunia. So pretty soon we'll be having bumper harvest, like we'll be having a lot of oil palm from the Sinkunia community garden.
And that's all going to go towards increasing the value of Sinkunia.
Yes. So in the Sinkunia community, 2018, 2019, 2020, we paid for 10 university students, some Jala University, Frobe College, McKinney College, EB, and as by Kuruma College and McKinney. Wow. So we supported 10 students over a period of 5 years. They all graduated. One is now pursuing his master's degree in Turkey, and one has just completed his master's degree in Jala University.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So 2017, 18 until now, like it has been smooth sailing.
A lot has been good.
A lot has been going on. So our applications all over this place are now well received. City, province, and the federal government. Beautiful. And for the past 4 or so years, the city has become our biggest funder. Yeah, in the last year, we got 2 years funding for our community safety program. We got about $425,000. Hey. And we have been getting money from different intermediaries, like the national, the Red Cross, Canada Red Cross, the Black SBCCI, supporting Black Canadian initiatives. So it has been phenomenal.
Wonderful.
The funding we have been getting in the past couple of years has been great. Now our applications, the rejections we faced in the past have been replaced with acceptance, approved.
Oh, I love that.
We don't get too much rejections these days.
I love that.
We can say we are comfortable right now. The number of staff, like I said, has increased. Remember how we used to, I will come to you and say, okay, we are giving you 10,000. We can't say all of these things.
We would keep that. But I hear you say comfort. To round up, I'm glad that you are where you are right now, but knowing how hardworking you are, I know you have future aspirations as to where you want to see Sinkunia in the next 5-10 years. To round us up, can you please speak to where you want to see Sinkunia, like what the future aspirations are?
Yes, the future, like I said, it looks great. And I'm thinking we are currently working our 5-year strategic plan. 2020 to 2030, 2025 to 2030. And what we hope to see and accomplish in the next 5 years is we want to have more funding, increased funding.
Okay.
We want to have, it's not only funding, we want to have sustainable funding. Like we have been lucky to get funding from different sources. So we don't only want to get funding now, we want to have sustainable funding.
Absolutely.
Funding that will keep us going for 5 years. We We have been lucky enough to get funding that took us for 3 years, for 4 years, 2 years. Now we're looking for funding that will take us to 5 years, 6 years. That's core funding that will make sure we have our operations going on uninterrupted. Mm-hmm. That is what the future is. That is what I'm looking forward to right now. And I want to have, we are thinking of having more staff. Like, I have seen the transformation this current staff has created. Like, we have young, dynamic guys who are super talented. Mm-hmm. They have put the organization on the map. Mm-hmm. So my aim is to kind of recruit more of those kind of young, talented guys, people like you who knows, like, who are...
Thank you.
Yeah, who will make significant contribution to the organization. Mm-hmm. So that is the target. That's the goal for the next 5 years. And we are very confident we will get there.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
So, like,
Amen.
Sometimes I walk up and down the hallway and see people moving back and forth. Everybody's busy. Food is being served. So we want to maintain that momentum. We want to build on that. We want to expand on that. We want to have more. We want to increase the number of people that we are supporting in the community. We want our programs to reach the four corners of Edmonton. Mm-hmm. So now we're also thinking of moving to Calgary. So hopefully in the...
Okay.
Yeah, that's all part of the 5 years plan.
Wonderful.
Yes, so...
Oh, wonderful. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. And I love all of the plans that you have highlighted. I think with regards to hiring like younger staff, I think coming from like the younger or like middle-aged staff, coming from that point of view or perspective, I think having a diverse staff when it comes to age is also
very
a serious
important.
Key,
yeah.
Because we are feeding off of each other. Like we're learning from you. We have you to ground us, and you have us to sort of like also help you gain some comfort in areas where you are not as comfortable.
Yes.
So I think having that diversity
is very important.
Goes a long way.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Awesome. Last but not least, finally, looking at 15-year-old Issa, who was once in a small town, and all the other 15-year-olds that are in smaller towns, but have big dreams, and they're not seeing any sort of like, they don't know how they're going to attain those dreams. What advice can you give to them?
Well, as a 15-year-old kid, you want to do everything. You want to become a teacher, you want to become a lawyer, mm-hmm. but you don't know how to go about it. So what I can say to them is that stay focused, which is very important, because if you are not focused, you cannot attain anything mm-hmm. in life. And then no matter how difficult the situation, don't lose track of your dreams. Mm-hmm. Yeah, set your goals, have your dreams, and then work towards them. You will face a lot of distractions, you will face a lot of hardship, lot of difficulties, but don't give up. Mm-hmm. Because once you give up, then that will be the end of everything. And those are very critical years, 15, 16, those are very critical years in our developmental milestones. So you can get distracted and go off track so easily. So it's very important for you to stay focused and then follow your heart, follow your dreams.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Talk about resilience. This is the real definition of resilience. You've seen the other side of resilience. He's come such a long way. He did not give up. He stayed true to his dream, even though he had a lot of difficulties and times when he came close to giving up and going back to find a full-time job. He held on tight, and now he's reaping the benefit of that patience and that resilience. Oh my goodness, talk about Black history, talk about creating history. There's much more to talk about. Stay tuned, check out the channel for all the other conversations that we've had on Black history and all the other topics really. If you haven't joined our community yet, make time, click on that subscribe button and join the Din Din community. Until our next conversation, it's been a pleasure talking to our guest today, Mr. Issa. But until next time, I'm your host, Becca, and this is the Din Din podcast. Sabe.
My people, we are so human, quick to judge and apportion blame. We think only about ourselves. Pointing fingers is so easy.